Well, it's Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. How do that song go? Well, it's Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. All right. Oh, man. What's up there, Soul Brother 85? It's Saturday night and we ain't got nobody. Peace forever and always, and welcome to a late night spontaneous broadcast of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host, gatekeeper of this program, known on social media wherever you may find me. I am known as the mighty one, the mighty Angel Snutting Up 7. Your soul brother, number one. I'm soul brother number one, and I will accept because nobody else has. Because nobody else has. Nobody has stepped up. Nobody want and still don't want the title of soul brother number one. Nobody wants to step in and inherit the legacy of Don Cornelius, soul brother, the mighty one, Don Cornelius. So I'll do it. They want to inherit crap from foreigners, things they didn't create, makes them feel good. They don't want what their own ancestors create. They want some stuff they don't have nothing to do with at all, period. Exactly. Soul power forever. Well, what brings me to this late night broadcast, I usually am tired and I go to bed at 10 o'clock Central Time. But sooner or later, I guess going to bed so early, but I get up early. But I guess that sometimes I get to the point where I really can't rest, I can't go to sleep, and I will stay up all night basically. And it seems as though this is the night for that. So I decided, since I did have this topic on my mind, and I was going to bring it up maybe tomorrow. Well, in a few minutes it will be tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and do it because tomorrow is not guaranteed to nobody. So I feel as though I can speak about this topic now. So why not do it? Shout out to our Deacon of Reality, Soul Brother 85, and the Twin Pyramid and our regulars. It is always an honor to speak with you and come before you. I thought for sure, being so late, that I'll be talking by myself, and that's no problem. What brings me to this topic is that I am, even though I was born in the early 1960s, I am a 1970s child, raised in the 1970s. So I know about the 1970s. It It's mind-boggling to me that somebody born in 1980, somebody born in 1990, and so forth, gonna come and tell me about the 1970s, and I grew up in it. I would never go to a person who was living during World War II and try to tell them about World War II, how it was living in America, when that was their actual experience. I'm going by what I read in a book, or maybe I talked to some relatives, but usually these people that speak, they're not even getting their information from people who actually lived in 1930, 1920, 1970, whatever. They're not getting their information. They're not getting their information from somebody who actually lived during that period of time. And you're damn sure, Brother Deacon of Reality, they damn sure didn't talk to nobody from Kemet. They damn sure didn't talk to nobody from the ancient Maya civilization, the Olmecs and all this other. They talk like they lived during that period of time. They don't. These folks on social media, these folks, they see, the thing about a story is that story is told through the eyes of the beholder. It's just like myself and Deacon of Reality and Twin Pyramid. All three of us can see a car accident. All three of us will have a different story. Even though we saw the exact same accident. It's just like in religion. There's supposed to be one Bible, one Quran, and everybody has the book is saying the same thing. Everybody is reading the same thing, quoting the same scripture, but everybody coming with a different conclusion, a different view of the same thing. And I agree with the Quran, because in the Quran, it says, I, Allah, or God, am not the author of confusion. That's confusion as hell. So the only way to get to the truth is you will take my version of the accident, Twin Pyramid version of the accident, and you will take Deacons of Reality version of the accident, and you will focus on the similarities to come out with what actually happened in the accident. It's very rare that people will see something and they will view it from the same manner. It's very rare. It can happen, and that's a good thing. But a lot of times, we all can see, we all can hear, and we use it. When we was little, some of us, when we was little children, and mama would say something and daddy would say something, all the children, nah, that ain't what daddy said. That they all heard what mama said, they all heard what daddy said, but everybody have a different version of what mommy and daddy said. And when you're getting your ass whooped for disobeying, mommy and daddy set you straight. Because really, they know you heard. You just didn't want to do. You use that as an excuse. Oh, children is something else. We always trying to get over. So, everybody have a different. So when it comes to history is written in the eyes of the beholder. So when you have a murder, the person who is killed don't have a voice. So basically you're going by the one who is alive and they doing the talking. You're going to have to try to figure out what happened, because of course the murderer, the killer, is not going to tell you the truth of the matter. So when you look at history, I'm going to use World War II for an example. The Japanese was in the war, the Nazis, Adolf Hitler. Peace to you also, Twin Pyramid. You have the Nazis, you have Russia was involved, you have Poland. You have all these countries involved in World War II. But I can guarantee you, from the view of the Polish, from the view of the Polish, from the view of the Japanese, from the view of the Nazis, well, we know American history, some of us do. Everybody's going to talk about and tell World War II in a different manner. I'm very sure if you go get their history. Also, Africa was involved in World War II. I know it was said that Hitler sent some of his troops to some parts of Africa. So those African nations, where those Germans, where they invaded, those African nations will talk about World War. Everybody will have their version of what World War II was. Now, what if we had a group of people called the Fivi tribe? They was involved in World War II. But the Fivi tribe got wiped out. And nobody cared about the Fivi tribe. So we don't hear about their version of World War II. So that means actually the history of World War II would be incomplete, because we don't have the side of the Fivi tribe. A lot of this history that we get come from the people who survive. It come from the winners. It come from the people that was able to tell their story in a rock or on paper or some way they told the story. What about those who wasn't able to tell their story? So the history that we have on record, is not really complete. But they tell it like it's absolute truth, and history is not absolute truth. History can be manipulated and altered to fit anybody's agenda. Exactly. We are programmed through false history, says our brother, the Deacon of Reality. So it's not really full history. It's not full history until you get the voices, until you put all the voices of everybody, and that it can be analyzed to come up with until it come up with the best interpretation, the best version. And of course, as you know, when we tell a story, we're going to tell it, a lot of people, we're not going to tell the truth. We're going to tell the story so it benefits us, to make us look good to the best of our ability. We want to be the hero. We want to look good. So we're not going to tell the story in the manner that it should be told. You cannot tell a story when You cannot tell a true story if some of the pieces are missing. And this is why a lot of innocent people end up in jail, because some of the story, the jury was not allowed to hear. If the jury is a just jury, they will want to hear all, and they want to hear the whole story and want to be able to examine all the information. Now, of course, in our situation in America, it didn't make any difference. An all-white jury will convict us, so it don't make no difference anyway. And they can see that you're innocent. It don't make no difference. They can see that their own people was guilty and still exonerate them. So it don't make any difference. It don't make any difference. But we have to hear if you are a truthful person, you would like to get everything. But as you know, we live in an environment where people, what they call these folks, they like to spin a narrative. And they only will take you and tell you enough to fit their purpose. They're not going to tell you the whole story because they have a narrative to spin. And we don't do that here. And I don't want to do that here. It defeats the purpose. I cannot become a better person. We cannot become better people when we lie to ourselves about certain things. This is not America the Beautiful. But they keep spinning this narrative like America is so beautiful and wonderful. It's not. It's just not. They don't want to tell the truth because they don't want to be better. But telling the truth actually will make us better if we want to be better. These folks don't want to be better. They've been liars and deceivers and thieves for so long. I guess in their mind, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we run around talk about the white man, this and that, and you ain't no damn better. You do the same thing. You are a liar, and you steal, and you're a scammer, you're a deceiver. You ain't no damn different than those people. But I don't want to be that. I just talked about myself. And see, I understand. It's very difficult. So I do understand. It's very difficult. Because in my last talk that I had, I just recently, within the last few years, come up out of my own denial and accept responsibility for the things that happened to me. Because in reality, I know that I could have done better, but I didn't. And I knew that some of the people that I was messing with or interacting with, I knew they was foul. And just like that chick Karen S. used to say, when a person show you who they are, you better believe it. And they were showing me what they were. But I did not think people, I guess you don't think that people are that wicked. But they are. Even in your own family. There are people in your family who you know they might be foul, but you didn't know they would go down like that. And it sort of shocks you. And I thought that nothing shocks me, but I did not really think that these people were really that foul. Like, damn, is it that serious for them? It's that serious. It's that serious for them because they are in their mind, they are nobody. So any little praise, any little tiny money, anything they can get, they out to get it. And that's sad. That's sad. Selfish people. Arrogant people. And the thing about it, how did they benefit? You don't benefit. You just lose. You just keep losing. It becomes worse. You ain't gonna never win. How are you going to ever win burning bridges? We cannot win burning bridges. And then you get angry when somebody that you mess with. See, a lot of folks, you could do something to them and they won't say nothing. They was like, oh, well, and go about their business and blah, blah, blah. Well, Angel Snubbing Up 7 is not like that. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk because I don't want other folks to be a victim of yours. And that's what they don't like. That's what they hate. And I'm not just saying something just because I'm mad. I'm talking because it's true. And I accept my responsibility. I hold myself accountable because I knew your ass was foul. But I guess I had to make sure. And you really made me let me know that I was sure. Yeah, you was right. These folks are so foul. It's incredible. So I hold myself responsible. I hold myself accountable because I did know better. And I confess, I knew better. I knew better. I just took a gamble and I lost. These folks are so foul. And this is the type of behavior that you have to deal with people around the earth. Humanity is in a very, very bad place. These folks are so sick. They want everybody to be like them. Talk like them. Walk like them. Eat like them. Do what I do. Look how angry they get when you tell them, I don't want to be a vegan. Oh, you don't want to be a vegan? Eat meat, that's a graveyard. That's a graveyard. Human beings was made to eat vegetables and grass and herbs and leaves. They get angry and want to call you names. And if you don't believe in Allah, you believe in Jesus, they want to threaten your life if you don't call yourself an African and all this nonsense. They want you to be, everybody to be the same. If everybody was the same, why would you go on vacation? If everybody was the same, there's no need to go on vacation because y'all all the same. Why would you leave your house to go on vacation when you go into another place? All the people are the same. Y'all are the same. So what? There's nothing to see. Same language, same hairstyle, same God, same everything. What's the sense of going on vacation? Everybody eating the same food. That's unnatural. When you look at nature, because the earth itself, all over the earth is variety. Life is variety. Life is not the same. Even within a species, you have a blackbird, there's all kinds of blackbirds. There's all different kinds of bears. There's different types of tigers. There's all different kinds of cats and dogs. But you listen to these lunatics, they want all of us to be the same, dress the same, eat the same, do everything the same. That's unnatural behavior. According to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, there was a scientist, and he wanted everybody to speak the same language, and they refused. I think that's how the story. It's been a long time since I read on the story, but I believe that's how it went. He wanted everybody to speak the same language, and they refused. So according to the story of the Nation of Islam, the scientists put bombs in the earth, try to blow the earth up, the whole earth, because they didn't want to speak and be the same like him, I guess. Now, what's ironic about this story is this black scientist from 76 trillion years ago, I guess. According to science, the earth is about 5.5, 6 billion years old. But according to the Nation of Islam, the black man been here for 76 trillion years. The oldest fossil of human beings that have been found is nowhere close to 76 trillion. Woo, these people and their stories. But anyway, the Nation of Islam called the white man the devil. I'm all off topic. I'm all off topic. The Nation of Islam calls the white man the devil, and I see videos and I see posts on Facebook and YouTube and social media from blackity black, pro blackity black, Pan African black, and then the blacker black type folks. They always talk about how evil the Caucasian European people are, how wicked they are, blah, blah, blah. But according to this story from the Nation of Islam, a black scientist, I would assume a member of the tribe of Shabazz, because he got angry, he gonna blow up the earth. He gonna blow up himself and the tribe of Shabazz. And that's what created the moon, and that's why the earth is 75% water, blah, 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 according to that story. Now, I've heard these folks talk about they have enough nuclear weapons that could probably kill a lot of life on the planet. I've never heard none of them actually say, threaten the earth. We'll put bombs in the earth and blow the earth up. I've never heard. So how can you call the white man the devil? And he hasn't done nothing like that, nothing even close. But you have a black man, you have a tribe of Shabazz member that tried to blow, that did, according to your story, that blew up the earth. If it wasn't for him, the moon, the part of the moon would still be here with us. Now we got to fly to the moon because of his ass. Woo, these stories. But that's what it is. It's a story. His story. His story. History. It's in the eyes of the beholder. History is not always factual. And this is where we get messed up at. History and science can be manipulated because it is man-made. It can be manipulated to support anything that someone will want. And the greatest example of that is Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. They took science. They took history. They sent their scientists, they sent their historians out into the world to prove the point that the Nazis are the superior race. Now, you will call what the Nazis done junk science. But what you find, you will call that the right science. What make yours right? Because if it's science, science is science. The only way we can do these things is that the scientists of the world, and right now, scientists are manipulated by their governments. Historians are manipulated by their governments. A scientist can only go so far. There should be a time when historians and scientists are allowed to bring their true findings to the world. But governments censor their scientists and their scholars. They do this because governments in these nations have narratives to sell. And I'll give you another example. Now, these guys talking all this comedic stuff, I very much doubt that they can read hieroglyphics, Egyptian or Kemetic hieroglyphics. They can't read that stuff. But according to this person who is supposed to be able to read Egyptian hieroglyphics, he read a story where one of those kings went out, because I told you how civilization was created. Civilization was created not by being civil. Civilization was created by violence. Egypt, Rome, all the civilizations were created by violence. Because these large tribes, because that's what it is. We call the United States a nation. It's a large tribe. So you have a tribe and you have to feed all these people in your tribe. And because you have all these numbers, you have all these people united together, you have to feed them. So once you first settle and your tribe begins to grow, the resources around your tribe, you start using that up. You're gonna have to find more resources for your tribe. And most of the time, you have neighbors. And those neighbors are smaller than you are. And this was the same case in ancient Egypt, all civilizations. And most of the time, these folks don't go to the smaller tribe and ask them, would you like to join us and, work together? That is not how it works. They declare war on the smaller tribes that's around them and take their land so they can get their resources. And most times, they will burn and destroy everything of those people. You never know that they even existed. Sometimes they will save the babies and the women, because the babies can be, they can be trained to become part of the conquering group, and they can use the women to produce more. They're weak, they can use the women to produce more of them. But usually they kill the elderly and they kill the men of that tribe. That's what they do. And even during the Civil War, that strategy was used internally. You had those soldiers, especially going down into the South. They burned those towns, a lot of those towns and things, to the ground. So they would do that. But that's how those civilizations, that's how they would do. But anyway, this Egyptian, according to the hieroglyphics that this person was deciphering, he said this Egyptian king, he's big and bad. He's going to take some soldiers out, and he's going to go to this one of the neighbors of Egypt, go out and take their crap. That was his thing. I'm going to go out here and take the neighbors, their resources. According to the hieroglyphics, he got his ass whooped. Came back with his tail between his legs. He lost that war. He came back to Egypt, cried. And of course, they recorded a lot of the things, especially what the royals did. And according to the hieroglyphic, the person that was recording what happened was told by the king, that's not what you're going to write. You're going to write the story that I went out basically almost by myself and kicked them people in the ass single-handedly. That's what you're going to put into history by order of the king. So now if they was doing that during Kemetic times, they're doing the same thing right now. Which comes to mind during our lifetime, this bull doodoo story about Osama bin Laden. We never see a body. We respect Osama bin Laden so much. We're going to give him a proper Muslim burial at sea. What? Are you serious? We're going to give him a proper. We never see the body. Nobody demands. We don't get to see the pictures. Nothing. They were liars in Kemet, and these people are still liars in 2024. They don't like telling the truth for nothing because they have an agenda. They have a story to sell. It's his story. You cannot take history, you cannot take these stories as some kind of truth. because human beings are liars. Human beings are manipulators. And don't keep talking about the white man. You are a liar yourself. We are liars as individuals. We was doing it as children. You know damn well you went in that cookie jar. And your mama come in, who been in these cookies? You don't know. Or you might point and tell a lie on a brother and sister. Or you blame our dog Scruffy. Just because somebody put it in a book don't mean that it's true. Just because you read it in a book don't mean it's true. Don't mean it's right. And even when you go to the library, when we look at some books, it's something called revisions. It was revised for some reason. Or it was updated because the information that we thought was true was wrong. It's wrong. It was wrong, so we updated the information. Or we revised it because something was wrong. And folks always telling us, do your research, get the information. You still have to use common sense and logic and be analytical and reason. Because we live in an environment of people and persons who don't tell the truth. Very, very rare. If you find somebody that actually tell it like it was or like it is, we're lucky. But when it comes to governments and nations, they lie. Proven. That's facts. How would that Egyptian king look if the people knew that he got his ass whooped? Can't tell that to the people. You can't report that to the people. You the king, you want to look brave. You want to look like some kind of god. That's what you want to report. So we're looking at the 1970s. And we want to look about it. We want to talk about black women on welfare. And what brings me to this topic is that I watched an old movie from the 1970s. It was called Claudine, starring our sister Diane Carroll, may she rest in peace, and our brother James Earl Jones, a wonderful actor. And he was a trash man. That was his occupation. And she was a sister on welfare. She had six children on welfare. This was the first time I ever saw the movie. Remember, this movie came out of the 1970s. Now, I was a child. I never saw a lot of these movies. I never saw Claudine. I never saw Pam Grier. What's her name? Get Christy Love and Superfly, The Mac. I never saw these movies. I'm just now checking out some of these old, what they call blaxploitation movies. I think the only movie I remember that we did see in the 70s, probably was Car Wash. And as a child, I really wasn't a TV watcher. I grew up in the rural area of Mississippi. And then even when we moved from Mississippi to the St. Louis area, St. Louis, Missouri area, we still lived in an area where children could go out and play. So I spent my time outside playing. I did not listen to the radio. I didn't watch a lot of TV except on Saturday morning. I was outside playing. That's what I was doing. So I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in TV and movies, and I wasn't interested in that stuff. And my parents, my people wasn't interested. I don't remember. They never went to the movies. I think my mother went to the movies 2 times. And she went to see when those X-rated movies first came out. My mother went to see one of those one time, and she took us to the movies, to the drive-thru one time. We never went to the movies like that. So I'm not. I heard the children, some of my classmates talk about some of these movies or whatever. I didn't experience that. I was able to see, I believe it was Fist of Fury in 1972. I believe that was 1972. Fist of Fury, Bruce Lee. I was able to see Bruce Lee. I wasn't, and I used to see those advertisements, and children was talking about Bruce Lee, and I remember I didn't really even see the Green Hornet TV show. But a lot of children would talk about Bruce Lee, this and that, and I would see a little bit of Bruce Lee on TV. I was familiar with Bruce Lee a little bit because of the Batman show. And Bruce Lee was Kato and the Green Hornet was on Batman. But I didn't watch a lot of TV. Didn't listen to the radio, did not care nothing about music when I was growing up. I didn't care about that stuff. I was outside playing like your children don't. Your children stuck up in the house, playing video games, watching stupid YouTube videos, being ignorant. And I don't care what they are. I don't care how Muslim, I don't care how black power your children are. They still on YouTube watching all this dumb stuff. They ain't learning a damn thing. And see, the thing about the children, you teaching them all this blackity black, Nation of Islam and more science temple. You teaching them all this, but see, they see you every day. You have to be the example. The teachings are you. And they see that you're not really, or you're the example for those teachings. And if you treat those children wrong, or they see that you're doing something wrong, they're going to look at you. The hell with that Moorish science, the hell with that Pan-African stuff. Because they see you. They see how fake you are. And then you watch them grow up. What happened to them? It's no surprise to me that Minister Farrakhan, some of his children turn out the way they done. One of them became a drug addict. They see you. They see us. The example of whatever we're trying to teach, the example of whatever we're trying to do, we're the example. And folks know you personally. They say, I don't know what those teaching is, but my mama, she ain't no Muslim. She got all kinds of men coming in out the house. Or you mistreat people. I know that nigga trying to be a Muslim. I know that nigga all his life. We went to school together. Now he trying to be some kind of Muslim fake ass. So I grew up in the 1970s. I grew up in the 1970s. It's wild when people, these children who are old enough to be my children, tell me how it was to grow up on welfare in the 1970s. Now, Claudine was a good movie. Those of you who have not seen Claudine, you can watch it free on YouTube. Claudine, starring Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones. You can watch it free on YouTube. And that's true. That's true in the movie. That was going on. That is true. And what you're saying about the welfare system is true. I never told you that you was a liar or you was wrong. I did not say that. There's another side of the story that you need to tell. But you trying to sell a narrative. See, it goes back again. When you're trying to sell a narrative, you're only going to tell so much. You're not going to tell the whole story. Let's try to get the whole story. First of all, why do our women have to be on welfare to begin with? Why should she look at welfare as an option? Now, if you go back, there was a time when there was no welfare for nobody. In a lot of countries right now, there is no welfare. You're on your own. You got to, however you make it, you got to find out, do it on your own. You get no government assistance at all. So take your happy ass to Africa. You're not going to go to Africa because you like it here. Yes, America is messed up. Yes, America is racist. Yes, there's a lot of problems in America. You're not going to go to Africa because you know you got it going on right here. You know you do. It's just like some of us, we get pissed off at our wife. We might get pissed off at our husband or a good girlfriend or a good boyfriend, however you do it. And you get pissed off a little bit and you want to leave, but you know damn well it's something, you mess around and get something worse. So you're going to try to work it out with what you got. Because you've been with, especially when you've been with this person for years and years and years. But you get mad. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go. I hear people say that all the time. You said that 20 years ago. You're supposed to be leaving your husband. Still with him. That's why a lot of these men, they'll cheat and mess around. They ain't going to leave that woman. They're not going to leave what they got. They know what they have is good. They get angry and get upset, which could cause you to lose it all. But you know that's a good woman. You know that's a good man. They don't want to leave. These folks are not going to go to Africa. You don't see them making no attempt to go to Africa. Even somebody like Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson will go and visit as a tourist and bring his happy Pan-African ass. How you going to be the prince of Pan-Africanism, but you don't want to live in Africa? Talk soul to me. How are you going to be a Pan-African, the prince of Pan-African, but you don't live in Africa? He don't even have dual citizenship nowhere. But you, the prince, you calling yourself the prince of Pan-African, but you don't live in Africa at all. You're a tourist. But there was a time when there was no welfare for nobody in this country. Now, if I'm incorrect in the history, please correct me. Because I'm not trying to sell a narrative. I want to try to get this as straight as possible. The idea of Social Security, the idea of aid for women with dependent children, however that's called, all that was developed within what we call in this country under the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration under his New Deal Act. And remember, this aid for dependent children, this was designed really for the widows of World War II soldiers. They lost their husbands in the war. So this was aid to those women because they lost their husbands. That's how it got started in the Roosevelt administration. And as you know, a lot of the benefits that the government gave World War II veterans, black soldiers did not get. So a lot of sisters, black women, did not get welfare when it first came out. A lot of them end up scrubbing the floor, being a nanny, being a maid for those women who was on, these white women that was on welfare. If I'm incorrect, please straighten me up. That was the beginning. In fact, well, I'm not going to say fact, but to my knowledge, because I could be in error. To my knowledge, black women wasn't able to take advantage of these benefits until the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in that period of time. A lot of these programs are controlled by the state. Illinois has their own welfare system. It's all funded by the federal. A lot of it is still, they get federal government funds, but it's all these programs are created and they're controlled and run by each individual state. Welfare in Illinois is different from welfare in Missouri, in Michigan, or California, and blah, blah, blah. They all are different. In the beginning, what you say is true. If a woman is on welfare, getting welfare benefits, she could not have a male that she was dating in her house. If she got it like that, why don't that male get her off welfare and take care of her and her children? You don't need welfare. So, of course, as far as the government was concerned, we're not taking care of you and your man. That's the position of the government. If you watch the movie Claudine, that's their position. We're not taking care of you and your man. That was the position. Now, according to the blackity black folks, this is done on purpose. So the man won't be to separate the man from the woman. You don't have to separate nobody. You and her work, and y'all don't have to be on welfare, period. Ain't nobody separating your ass. Nobody forcing you to be on welfare. You voluntarily take your happy ass in there, sign up. They don't go looking for you. Oh, the way the blackity black folks is talking, they act like they go out into the community and then tell the women, if you break up with your husband, whatever, we'll give you welfare. You don't have to work. Leave that Negro alone. That ain't what happened. You voluntarily go sign up. If a man is not taking care of his children, and this woman don't have enough income, and this is a source that she can go to help her with her children, then she's going to do it. There's many black people that never took welfare, regardless, no matter what. Now, what happens is a lot of times, or what has happened, welfare is supposed to be designed, really, like I said, for widows. But here you are, you're not a widow. Your husband did not die in a war. Your husband did not die in you out here spreading your legs, men and women, and you're producing these babies that you can't take care of. And it's the government fault. It's a government conspiracy. Because you making babies that you know your ass can't afford. Well, just because I'm poor, well then you know that you poor. That's on you. Ain't nobody responsible for you and your children. You responsible for you and your children. Ain't the government responsibility for you and your children. It's a government conspiracy to keep y'all apart. Your ass should have never been together if you gonna make babies and you know your ass cannot support them. How you gonna get angry? You the one, okay, who laid up in the bed to make those babies? You did. But taxpayers, other people, your mama, grandparents, supposed to take care of you and your damn children. Excuse my language, I don't mean to curse the poor children. These supposed to be adults. These supposed to be adults. You done that. There was a time when there was no welfare. So it's their rules. When you getting money from somebody, it's their rules. If you don't want to deal with their rules, don't take their money. Like if I was supporting somebody, I'm paying the bills. It's my rules. You don't like my rules? You don't take my money. Go get your own. So you taking government money, you got to follow government rules. It ain't no damn conspiracy. Keep your damn legs closed. Get a vasectomy or something. Oh no, I got the right. Yeah, you got the right to reproduce and do whatever the hell you want to. But I don't have to, the government or nobody don't have to pay for you and your children. Silly ass people. Here I am. I'm a single person. I don't have children. And you gonna take, government gonna use my tax money to pay for your children. I didn't lay down with you. You don't blame the government. And then some of the welfare is for those children, and it's for people like the elderly who can't work, to get sick, people that's disabled, things of that nature. You got a lot of folks that can work, that ain't that sick, and you got people having these babies because they know they can get welfare. It's done on purpose. That's why your ass is not going to go to Africa. Because you go to Africa, all that comfortable good stuff is gone. They don't have programs like that. Your ass, yeah, you better learn how to be a vegetarian, because your ass going to be eating that damn cornmeal mush that they eat over there. That's what you're going to be eating. Some of y'all vegans ain't going to make it in Africa. All you cats with these special diets, you ain't going to make it in Africa. The standard of living, the cost of living in Africa is way higher than it is in the United States, and the government don't give you nothing. If you get sick, can't work, or you can't get you don't have no more income, you're in bad shape. They don't have no wonderful programs like we have in the good old racist ass United States. And by the way, white folks, before you start smiling, welfare is not reparation, you idiot. Welfare is not reparation. These immigrants coming across the border is getting welfare. Welfare is not reparation. So like I say, all the states are different. And in the beginning, when black women were able to sign up and participate in the program, that's when these rules start being enforced. Because you never heard about white women complaining about that. This was harassment against the sisters who were signing up. You know you had to put some racism in there. But you know, with all things, there's loopholes. With all things, you can get around it with all things. So in some states, you are treated like Claudine. That's what I experienced as a child, which my mother didn't really have to go through a lot, because my mother didn't have to tell the government some man's supposed to be in the house. My mother didn't play that, because my mother wasn't gonna let no man live off of her. If you come in our house, you gonna pay to live in this house. My mother didn't play that. My mother wasn't gonna let no man come in the house. So which my mother was married, but they were separated, and my father would come now and then, but he wouldn't stay all night or whatever, nothing like that. My mother didn't play that. You got to get the hell out. You ain't paying no bills. You got to get the hell out of here. She didn't play that. You have these women who are getting risking their government benefits, letting some bum live in the house with them. Next thing you know, she can't get welfare benefits. She can't get Section 8 because she let this bum live there in the house. That's not doing nothing so what? If he's a good man, if he was worthy of anything, why is she on welfare anyway? I'm not going to let my woman that I love and my children be in an environment I can't live with them. I'm going to put my woman under that kind of stress. I want her out of there. So what kind of man want to lay up with a woman that's on welfare anyway? Live in her house. If you can't afford it, you stay in your house, she stay in hers. I would not risk a woman who is dependent upon the government to help her with her children. But that goes to show you how selfish some of these Negro bums are. They don't only look out for themselves. I wouldn't do that. So you have these blackity black folks selling this narrative. Even so, again, each state is different. But it gets to the point where they don't have, the government don't have the staff to keep a check and keep an eye on all these folks that's on the welfare roll. And it gets to the point where they don't even come at all. And in some states, they don't even enforce that. They don't even do the inspections of these houses. And I'm going to tell you what I know because I saw it with my own eyes. I lived it. When we was in Mississippi, that inspection lady used to come around now and then. And they would come in the woman's house, you know, looking around. She's looking because only people that's supposed to be in there is children. So there shouldn't be no grown man's shoes in the house. It shouldn't be no kind of grown man's clothes in the house. So you getting inspected for that. The inspector's looking around because you're supposed to be poor. You ain't supposed to be having no fancy nothing. I mean, you know, just like in the Claudine movie. And that's what I experienced. I remember that. And that was the state of Mississippi. And according to my mother, they don't give you a whole lot anyway. You know, a lot of these welfare programs, they only give people enough. You barely making it. It's just like if you go to the pet store, they feed those animals just enough to keep them alive until you can sell them. When you go to the car dealership, a lot of these car dealerships, and you buy a car, then a lot of them, they're not going to give you a full tank of gas. They're going to put in the car just enough so you can take it for a test drive and run around, whatever, blah, blah. They're not going to give you a full tank of gas. And that's how it is on the welfare system. The welfare system, you think people getting over, and they are to a certain point, but they only give you just enough to make it. Sometimes. But as you know, the cost of living goes up. And a lot of times, the benefits don't go up, but the cost of living goes up. So you see a lot of people, even though they're getting benefits, if you have children or whatever, they still have to go to some of these other agencies or whatever, get extra help, get food, get some clothes, whatever, because that little welfare check is not enough. Then, of course, you also have people who are incompetent. They mess their money up. They don't know how to budget their money. And they don't know how to make it, stretch it until you can get the next check. Of which my mother was guilty. There was a lot of times we was hungry, but we lived, like I said, in a rural area, and we was used to going out. People, especially in the summertime, people had gardens. We go get our share out of people's gardens, and a lot of property had fruit trees growing. So I mean, we did what we had to do. So We moved from there in the early 70s, and we moved from Mississippi to uh, Missouri on the Illinois side. So we was in the state of Illinois. And Illinois didn't enforce nothing. They had the rules, Illinois, and they probably still don't. Matter of fact, I believe most states right now, those rules are still on paper. They don't enforce them like that. They don't have the staff. And even when they did have some staff, people, these men, they still was, you know how you are, you sneaky. We was living in the projects. And a lot of these projects, a lot of these low-income housing, they was developed for women on welfare. It ain't supposed to be men unless it's your young boys growing into men in those places. I saw with my own eyes these men living with these women. Some of these men had jobs. These women didn't even have to be in those low-income housing. I saw Cadillacs, brand new Cadillacs and Lincolns in the projects. A lot of these men was making enough money by themselves. They could have had a house or whatever, and these women didn't have to be in the project. But you see, woo! But I tell you, see, this is the thing about men. These same men, a lot of them, because I heard it out their mouth, so you can't tell me. See, when a woman have a lot of children and she's in a position like that, a lot of men will exploit her. And he's in a position because he's living with her almost probably rent-free, and he's making a lot of money at a factory or whatever, making good money. And when he leaves, he's going out in the streets and talk about his home. And they all talk about how they pimping and how they pimping and getting over. I heard it out their mouth, so you can't tell me. These blackity black folks want to tell you this pitiful sob story and try to make some of these men, you're supposed to cry. No, you got a lot of these men, they exploit these poor women. And a lot of these women suffer from low self-esteem because they have all these children who want me now. And some of them, a lot of them have gained a lot of weight. They don't look good. They're not pretty like they used to be. So who want me? I got all these children. And then you got this guy. Yeah, he like you. And then he take his money, go out on the street drinking liquor with his friends and be blowing. I seen this with my own eyes. So you can't tell me it didn't happen. It was very few men that I saw that really loved these women and wanted to take care of those children. But if that's the case, why don't you get them out of that situation? Get them out of the projects. Get them off welfare. That's my question. No, you found a woman and she made life easier for you. Life is not easy when you're producing children. Where you get off at that? When you decide to have children, life is not easy. Because you have children, you have decided to accept responsibility for others until they are able to take care of themselves. And if you're not ready for that, leave them children alone. in the movie Claudine, James Earl Jones was ready to marry Claudine and accept responsibility and help her with her 6 children. But he almost lost his mind. He went into work and they increased his child support for his children from another woman. And he almost lost his mind. Because he have all these bills for himself that he can barely afford. Then he looking at Claudine and all her children. He lost it. But sir, you know that you have children outside of Claudine's children. What he liked about Claudine was he found Claudine, even though she had all these children, she was settled because of the children. And he liked that about Claudine. He was tired of messing around with these younger women. You know, what's the word? Gallivanting. You know, always want to party and, silly, not mature. Claudine was settled. She had these children. She was mature. But he went nuts when he went to the job and they increased there's nothing he can do about it because they take child support right out of his check. But Claudine is a good movie. It's free on YouTube and watch it. And this is what I also tell people. If you can have the father and the mother, the 2-parent household is the best environment, the best situation for children. I will never tell you that. I've never said that. At the same time, it's about being competent. It's about the quality of parents, not the quantity. Women, females have been raising both genders just fine by themselves. Many animals do it. There are animals that will never know their mother or their father, and they're doing just well. You don't need a penis in the house, and a penis does not guarantee a successful family. What's successful about a family when you got a man in your house and he depending on you and your welfare check? What's successful about that? Tell me. If you got a man and he need to live with a woman on welfare, what is he bringing to the situation? Just because he's there to play. He can play with those children in his own house, out on the street some damn where. What benefit is he bringing? What is he doing for those children? Just to have a penis in the house. I say, and I always tell you the old saying, it's better to be by yourself than in the company of a fool. And even in that movie, Claudine, those other women was on the bus with Claudine. They was talking about how those men had done them. Because a lot of men want the pleasure of sex, but they don't want the responsibility of sex. Because once you do that, being a father, being a provider is a 24-hour job. And some of you don't even like working your regular job. Soon as you get home, you want to get you a beer. You tired. Well, being a father is 24 hours. There's no breaks. It's 24 hours a day until that child, under the law of the United States, turn 18. Then you're not responsible no more. But until then, it's 24 hours a day. You don't hear them talking about, yeah, man, I sure tore that putty tat up last night. You don't hear them bragging about their sexapades. When the pressure of being a father, a provider, when they can't handle that. You don't hear them bragging no more. You don't hear them bragging to their friend. Yeah, man, she was really, really tight. Yeah, but I got the big stuff. I opened that thing up, boy. I told that. Why don't you tell them about how you tore up them bills to pay for all them 6, 7, 8 children you got? You don't hear them bragging about that. How they paying those bills. How they paying for college. How they paying for high school graduation. How they bought a car for their teenagers. You don't hear them bragging about all that kind of good stuff. You know, the sexapade. How many women they've been in. It's easy to screw. Don't take nothing. It's easy to be a dog. But it's difficult to be a man. It's difficult to be a father. That's a 24-hour job. It wear you out. And you want to make it easier for these bums. Because the only man that want to live with a woman on welfare in her house is a damn bum. And a lot of these women would do that because they suffer from low self-esteem. Just to have your raggedy, nasty, lazy ass laying up next to her because she suffers from low self-esteem. What kind of man would want to lay up with her? You don't have nothing to offer. Nothing. Except a ding-a-ling. And next thing you know, she got another baby to feed. And you gone. Because you're not a father. You're not a man. We say it on this channel all the time. These are not men. These are mandingo. Because that's what the mandingo done. What did the mandingo do on the slave plantation? The mandingo was made to fight amongst himself for survival. And that's what you do. You fight each other every day. Some of you would do it in the boxing ring. On the basketball court, you're fighting and playing against each other. On the street, you shoot and kill each other. The mandingo. The mandingo. That's what they done on the slave plantation. And the mandingo was made to breed and make babies to produce other slaves. And he don't have to worry about taking care of those babies because the slave master took care of them. She's on welfare. Who's taking care of her? The slave master. Who got her pregnant? The slave master? Maybe sometimes. Who got her pregnant? The mandingo. That's who got her pregnant. I thought slavery ended in 1865. I thought it did, but clearly it didn't. So tell the truth. Tell the whole story. I'm telling the whole story. I'm not trying to sell a narrative. I'm tired of being around weak-ass men. The only thing you doing with this two-parent household garbage and this garbage story about the women on welfare and the white man did this, selling a narrative, a story. For what? So you can recruit them so that you can pimp the men. Because they stupid like that. So you go to the Nation of Islam to get pimped. You go to the Moorish Science Temple to get pimped. You go to the Pan-African stuff to get pimped. You get pimped by other men. And who's the best pimper? The white man is the best pimper. That's why your ass is mad and angry. Because he is the pimp. And back in the 1970s, they used to call him, the white man, the man. Because he was the man. He controlled it all. And even if you do something for yourself, you still got to go through the man. I don't care how pro-blackly black your ass is. You're on Facebook. You don't even support alternative platforms. None of these suckers. Is Umar Johnson on an alternative black? He talking all this Pan-African crap. Is he on an alternative? Is he on a black platform? If Umar Johnson, Sanetta, Tariq, if all of them move to a black platform, it could grow. They are comfortable on the white man because this is where their money is at. And they don't want to leave their money because this is what the man provides. The man who take care of the black women on welfare, who take care of these men on welfare and who ain't on welfare. Jay-Z is rich because of the man. Will Smith is rich because of the man. If you take the man out of the equation, they don't have nothing. And when the man gets sick of them, the man will take it all away, and they know it. That's why they keep their damn mouth shut. And they be careful about what come out their damn mandingo-ass mouth. Jay-Z is mandingo. Cat Williams running his mouth is mandingo. Tahaka Bay is mandingo. Sanetta is mandingo. Louis Farrakhan is mandingo. Slave plantation. And that's why they don't like Angel Snuffing Up 7, because I see it exactly for what it is. I'm going to call it for what it is. I'm going to tell the story for what it is. If I can be real with myself, I damn sure going to be real with you. Because I could tell the story to try to justify and try to make myself look good. Oh, I'm so happy. I don't never make no mistakes. I'm this and that. And I'm doing myself a disservice because it's a lie. It's a lie. So we'll never grow. We'll never mature. Living in denial. We'll never grow, we'll never mature, we'll never progress, lying to ourselves, selling these narratives. The white man this and the white man that. And you ain't no damn better. You ain't no better. This is the history of conquerors on the earth. Even before the Europeans went to Africa, they was doing the same thing, killing each other in wars. They was doing the same thing. The only difference is the Europeans are smarter, they're more intelligent, and they had better weapons. That's the only difference. And we know that those Africans would do the same thing because the little weapons that they do get, you see what they're doing with them. What are they doing with them? Where are these Pan-Africans at? Where your happy ass? Come on this platform. What are they doing with the AK-47s and the grenade launchers and the weapons that they did not make, that they got from somebody else? What are they doing with them? Are they killing? Are they fighting against the invaders? No, they're killing themselves. The same thing they was doing before the invaders showed up. That's why it was easy for a small group of Europeans to conquer all of Africa like that, because they wasn't together. They was fighting each other. They was different. And they didn't give a damn if the other nation was taken over or conquered. They didn't give a damn. Matter of fact, some of them helped the Europeans conquer their neighbors, and then the Europeans turned on their happy ass. And we supposed to want to be part of that type of stupidity. You want to claim and want to be part of some idiots. I don't want to be them. They stupid. And they still stupid to this day. Hell, those people over there make Europeans kings and queens over there, and the Chinese folks. You can go on YouTube, you can do a Google search. You will see them making Asian people and Europeans honorary kings and queens over there. The hell with those folks copying them. I don't want to be there. And you put on the front, your ass don't want to go over there either. Take your ass over there. You don't want to leave the welfare system. You don't want to leave this country like that, because ain't nothing. You mess around and mess up over there, you on your own. The government not going to help you. And then when you do get help over there, guess who giving the help? It's the Europeans. So you might as well keep your ass, might as well stay here. I've never been around people. Deacons of reality, are we that? I've never been around people that just don't think at all. Why are we so damn? Why are we? Maybe something wrong with me. Maybe something wrong with me. Because I just don't get it. I mean, it seems as though we don't think at all. I understand being a Muslim. I understand being a Moorish and all these different things. But I was a Muslim. I was under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And I still wasn't this damn brainwashed and stupid like these folks are. I never got angry because somebody didn't want to follow the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. That's your choice. You are my brother. You are my sister. I would go to different people, different meetings. I would even go to where some of these gang members hanged out. I got along with everybody in my community. I never got angry at nobody because they rejected the teaching. You're my brother and my sister. When brothers and sisters left the nation of Islam, we're not supposed to communicate. I didn't give a damn about that rule. I still tried to communicate and talk to brothers and sisters. You don't tell me what to do. A lot of these people, when they left the nation of Islam, they wasn't kicked out. They just got tired of the bull doo-doo. Some of them was mistreated. I saw with my own eyes. I know why they left. That's my brother and my sister. These people not real. They not real. Fake ass folks. Always talking about the black Christian. white Jesus. You ain't no damn better. You replace Jesus with black Jesus or some other garbage. You ain't no different than they are. You got your crap from a foreigner, just like they did. All your crap is foreign. You don't have nothing. Ain't no God never talked to none of y'all. Allah, none of these guys, you've got no revelations from nobody. Everything they have came from a foreigner. All of it. Why God can't talk to us personally? Why God can't reveal to us? Why we got to get people's hand-me-downs? In a court of law, it would be hearsay. Yeah, because that's hearsay. Because you're getting it from a third person. That's hearsay. Because you didn't hear it yourself. You didn't even hear it yourself. In a court of law, they wouldn't even want to hear nothing from no Bible or Quran because all that would be hearsay. Unless you can get somebody that actually heard or was part of whatever it is, so they can testify. I can't believe it. Well, I can't believe. Matter of fact, not believe, I know. But what you expect from people who in reality are still slaves? I mean, they huff and puff and talk. I mean, they talk big, but they still act and behave like slaves. You control nothing. You still dependent. I don't give a damn. You can talk all that blackity black stuff all that you want to. You still dependent upon massa. Ain't nothing changed. Massa can take, I don't care what you got. Massa can take it away from you anytime he feel like it. He's the lawmaker. And he's the lawbreaker. What they said, laws are made to be broken. That's against the first thing you're going to say, that's against the law. But you don't want to vote. How do we get laws? We get laws because we put people into positions to make the laws. We vote. But you said, oh, we don't need to vote. How stupid you are. But when you get in trouble, you're going to talk about the law. But you're telling people don't vote. Don't participate in the political system. And the reason why is because you don't know how to use the political system to your advantage. So of course you would say that because you don't know how to use it. And don't want to learn because the mother plane is coming, because Jesus is coming, because somebody gonna come and save you. You don't need to vote for a damn thing. You don't have to learn nothing because your Messiah, your Savior is coming. Wow. Accept reality, my friend. It's much easier. I would advise us to get on the soul train. I would advise us to really take a serious look and examine. And you can even help make better the vision that we call Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign. So many of these people look so stupid because they think that I'm simple. I'm not simple. It took over 40 years for me to become who and what I am. Over 40 years. I'm not simple. I learned how to think for myself. I learned how to think things out. How you doing there, Brother Don? Brother Don in the house, y'all. We're going to have to make you the 12th member, Brother Don. Starting to see you more often. We only had like 10, 11 people. They said we only had 10 subscribers and we only get 10 views. So you're gonna make number 11. Brother Don. We're going to have to start putting Brother Don on the list. Good to see you, Brother Don. If we're going to tell a story, tell the whole story. Tell it as factual, tell it as truthful as you can. Don't be like these people trying to sell a narrative. I'm not here to sell a narrative. I'm not trying to sell nothing. What we want, I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care how many wives you got. I don't care how many dogs you got in your house. I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care what kind of music you listen. I don't care if you're a vegan. I don't care if you're a cannibal. Well, yes, I do care if you're a cannibal. A meat eater, okay. A cannibal, I don't know. I can't do that one. But that's not none of my business. My business, what we want is simply our liberation. And if that's what the people want to do, then that's what they have decided they want to do, because they are liberated and free to do whatever they want to do. So it don't make no difference. All this stuff that y'all talking about don't mean nothing anyway, because you're not liberated. So what? You can talk all that Nation of Islam, Moorish Science Temple, Kemetic Science, whatever it is that y'all talking about, the Pan-Africanism, Blackening. Y'all can talk it all that you want. It don't mean nothing, because you still living in another man's house. You still living where another man rules and controls you. And if he ever gets sick of your crap, he'll put it to an end. He can make a law to say no more Nation of Islam in America. He can make a law, no more Science Temple in America. They can make a law, and they have the Army, the Navy, and the Marines to enforce that law. What you gonna do about it? Take your ass to Africa. Maybe they'll let you do it there. See, that's the situation you in. The reason why you're able to do what you're doing, because they let you. Another man let you do it. But if it come a time where he gets sick of your damn mouth, we protect it under the they can change that. They can change that, people. Or they can put in an article and make exemptions. Well, we do have freedom of religion in this country, but we put certain behavior on a terrorist list. Those who are Hebrew Israelites are terrorists. Those who are Nation of Islam are terrorists. Those who are Moorish Science Temple are terrorists. The Pan-Africans are terrorists. That's not allowed in the United States no more. They speak against white people, America itself. You can no longer do that. Then what you gonna do? Huh? The only reason why y'all run your mouth the way you do is because they let you. Because Massa let you do it. That's the reason why. You huffing and puffing. You ain't fought. You ain't did nothing to earn the right to run your damn mouth in America. Massa let you do it. Whatever respect they had for the civil rights movement is gone. You ain't earned nothing for yourself. And the time is going to come where they're going to shut you down. Tired of you talking about white people. That's racist. We don't do racism in this country. And your ass going to say, we're not racist. You're going to bow down and cry. We're not racist. We just standing you racist. As far as we concerned. You're going to shut up. You can leave the country. We're not going to allow that no more. It's not protected under freedom of religion no more. Then what you going to do? Huh. Exactly, Don. Exactly. Don says these black organizations are already being labeled as black identity extremists. That's right. So it won't take too much of nothing. You either shut up or ship out, whichever you want to do. It's just a matter of time. Now, if we was intelligent, if we wasn't so delusional, if we were smart, I believe, I don't know, so that's why I said I believe that we might have a chance to really progress if Donald Trump becomes president. Because Donald Trump is different than any other person that has been in the White House. And he has a different mindset. But see, there's a narrative that's being spun against him. And I believe the narrative, I keep saying I believe the narrative is being spun because there's a group of people who know that this man is the catalyst that can open some doors for you if you know how to knock. Donald Trump told Black America, vote for me. What you got to lose? You should take him up on that offer. But you're a slave and you don't know how nothing really works. You just emotional. You don't understand. And you cannot take advantage of those things that come to you. They say there's a lot of things about Donald Trump, like Donald Trump actually released a lot of black people out of these jails and these prisons. And there's a lot of things that we don't know. The man, you can't expect him to be perfect. And you don't expect him to be on your side like that. It's not about that. We talked about a symbiotic relationship a couple of video live streams ago. That's what you're looking for. I believe, I cannot say I know. I believe we can use Donald Trump as part of a symbiotic relationship. He can help you. It is delusional to live in the United States of America and believe you can make moves and you're only going to do it with black people. That ain't how life works. That's not how it's going to work in America. You're going to have to deal with everybody that live here. Somewhere down the line, somewhere, you're going to have to live and deal with people that live here. It's just like if you live in a house with your family members. You got to deal with everybody that live in the house. How the hell you just going to come in the house and you going to live and you can't interact with everybody in the house. That's dumb. You live in this house, you're going to have to learn how to finesse with everybody in the house. And the main folks that you got to learn how to finesse with are the ones who hold the power. See, in your family, you can get a little something from your brother. You can get a little something from your sister. But the one that you really want to finesse is mama and daddy, because they got the resources, they got the power. And that's the situation where we're in. You don't know how to finesse. You call yourself a Mac Daddy. Some of y'all, I'm a pimp. Well, where your pimping skills at? Where your Mac Daddy skills at? But you don't know how to use the Mac Daddy skills when it comes to these people. You don't know how to use your pimp. You only know how to pimp your own folks. You only know how to Mac Daddy low self-esteem, helpless women. That's the only thing you know how to do. But see, the white man and those in power, they know how to Mac Daddy. They know how to pimp everybody. That's how they got where they at. I believe I heard Louis Farrakhan talk about Donald Trump. But he talked about Donald Trump in a stupid way. Run, Donald. He want Donald Trump to be president so Donald Trump can inspire suffering upon Black America. Cut welfare. Do whatever you can to hurt the black people. So, because if you hurt the black people, it'll make them do something. It'll make them do for themselves. Make them run the Farrakhan. And they run the Farrakhan to do what? Farrakhan ain't got nothing to give you. And why you want the people to suffer? You want them to hurt. For what? I guess your ass gonna be running, you're gonna be running to Donald Trump too. Because you're gonna be suffering. You don't have nothing. None of these folks don't have nothing. No, that's another thing, Don. Don says he never heard no president mention Farrakhan. Every president, even when I was in the nation, starting with Ronald Reagan, Farrakhan tried to get their attention. He talked about Reagan. He talked about Bush. Every president, he run his mouth about the president, and none of them, they just ignore him, trying to get their attention. They don't mention him at all. Some of these senators, they mention him, some of these representatives and senators or whatever. But I've never heard, Ronald Reagan never mentioned his name. Clinton never mentioned his name to my knowledge. None of it, just like Brother Don said, none of it. I mean, he really be trying to get their attention too. They never mention him. Oh, I never heard Obama. Obama took a picture with him. I don't think he was president then, though. I think he was a senator in Chicago. When he became president, he didn't talk about Farrakhan either. He really be trying to get the spotlight. He want the spotlight so he can do nothing. He has nothing to offer. 40 years have proven he has nothing to offer. What you want all this attention for, sir? Now, for me, I'm looking at Donald Trump, and I don't give a damn about politics. It's just a strategy. It's just a resource to get me where I want to go. Donald Trump is not. I don't look at him as a want to be a friend or nothing like that. No, I see him as a tool, as a resource to get me what I want. Going back to what we talked about, a symbiotic relationship. Donald is happy, I'm happy. It ain't about friendship, it ain't about love. It's about what we can find. It's about a compromise. It's about a unity in a manner that benefits us both. And that is what Black America will follow. They're not going to follow Farrakhan. They're not going to follow Umar Johnson. They're not going to follow none of these people like that. They're going to follow this government. They're going to follow what's happening out here in our general society like that. That's what they're going to follow. That's all they know. And they're going to follow whether they like it or not. Because this is how it goes. That's the situation here. They're not going to follow you. They're going to follow the leader of this country, whether they like it or not. You'll get a few thousand to follow these people that's leading them to nowhere. And who cares? Because even they, whether they like it or not, still going to be up under the umbrella of this nation, under its rules and its laws. So nobody give a damn about what they don't like. So I see Donald Trump as a resource that you could use to get you what you want. Because the Democrats made it perfectly clear and told those folks, and I don't know because I really don't keep up with these people, but I know the Democrats made it very clear to people like Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks or whatever their name. The Democrats have made it very clear they're not interested in reparations. They made it very clear. They're not interested. I heard Bernie Sanders say he'll do this and he'll do this, but they're not interested reparations on a federal level. Now, California is supposed to be talking about some type of reparations, and I know small towns in Illinois and some of these other places, and I think they would like to do, but they say they don't have no money. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, they talking about they would like to do that, but they don't have any money. There's a lot of small scale places, small towns that's talking about reparations. Even here in the St. Louis area, they was talking about it. But as far as on the federal level, the Democrats made it clear they're not interested. And see, reparations can be in many forms. Of course, the main form some of these people want, they want a personal check like they won the lottery. That's what they really want. Tariq Nasheed would love that. And a whole lot of these folks, that's what they're looking for. They want their personal check. That's my money. Reparations is supposed to be to help repair a people from the harm that somebody caused them. The people, not individuals. What is in the best interest of what is good for the people. It's not about individuals so that you can try to be in competition with Beyonce and Jay-Z. You want free money and you don't even give a damn about your ancestors. Most of these folks don't even give a damn about their ancestors. Go on the street and just ask basic black history questions to the average black person on the street. They don't even know. Don't even know their own history in America. I'm not talking about no Kemet. I'm talking about Black American history. A lot of these people, we just had Martin Luther King holiday. They didn't give a damn. They treat Martin Luther King holiday just like Christmas or whatever, just a day off. They don't give a damn about Dr. King. They don't give a damn about the civil rights movement. That's why I always say, I'm not giving my life. I'm not fighting for these ingrates. They're not worth it. Here we are. We got Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. Here we are talking logic. Here we are talking sense. And they want to ignore that. Good advice. Well, you just keep doing what you're doing. And you might get what Farrakhan want for your ass. Some suffering instead of progress. Because you can take, if you wise, you can take what might have been suffering and you can turn it around where instead of suffering, you can actually progress. But you're not wise like that. You know why? Mandingo. The man that's supposed to protect and provide, the head of the household, the leader, he's not a man. He's a mandingo. Mandingo. Woo. But who am I? I could be wrong. I'm probably the only one on here that would tell you I could be wrong. I know I've never heard Louis Farrakhan say it. I've never heard Farrakhan say, believing in Elijah Muhammad, I could be wrong. I've never heard him say it. I never heard Tariq Nasheed, never heard Tahaka Bey. They do everything in their power to say that they're right. They do everything in their power to say they know it all. You never heard me come on here ever say, I know it all. I have no problem with telling you I don't know. So if I tell you I don't know, that's it. I don't know. You don't have to ask me no more questions or anything. I don't know. But I'm confident in the Mississippi campaign. I'm confident in the ideology of what we call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I'm confident in that. And if I'm in error, you're going to have to do a lot. You have to really show me that error. And I can accept that. I'm not these other people. Because that's the truth. I can accept truth. I can accept the reality. But you're not going to be able to do that. I already know you can't. Not even going to be able to begin. You're not going to be able to do that. But I do it to these outdated beliefs and outdated teachings all the time. Because it's outdated. It's no longer applicable. It's no longer applies. It's something that we needed in our infancy, but in 2024, we don't need that Similac milk no more. We don't need the baby bottle no more. All that stuff was baby stuff. The fairy tales, the fairy tales, the mythology, all that stuff. We don't need it no more. That's nothing but Santa Claus for adults. So how can you make mockery of a child that believes in Santa Claus when you do the same thing, except your Santa Claus is Allah, your Santa Claus is Jesus, your Santa Claus is Yahshua Yahweh or whatever. Your Santa Claus is Umar Johnson or whoever. I would take the advice of our deacon. Accept reality, my friend. It's easier. That's why it's so difficult for y'all to try to explain these things, because it's not real. It doesn't take much for me to explain what I'm talking about because it's reality. It's easy. Easily proven is real. It's realistic. And you know it. But when you're trying to explain your beliefs and your ideology that you got, you really got to try to get technical and complex and algebra, trigonometry, and calculus. It ain't that serious. It shouldn't be that serious. But it is because it's not real. You're trying to make something that's not real fit into reality. If it was real, you wouldn't have to believe in it. But you have to believe in it because it's not real. And belief does not require critical thought, reason, common sense, being analytical. It don't require those things, or logic. Well, on that note, I think I said enough. And I appreciate everybody staying up with me tonight. Couldn't sleep. Still don't feel sleepy, but I think this talk, I've said enough as far as this topic is concerned. Again, we do ourselves a disservice when we don't tell the whole story and we sell these narratives. If we don't want to tell the whole story, that makes us a deceiver. Now, some folks don't know the whole story. But some of these people, they know the whole story, but won't tell the whole story because if you tell the whole story, if you tell it like it THISZIZ is, it destroys the narrative that they're trying to sell. I can tell the whole story because I don't have a narrative to sell. But these do. I'm not the only one who grew up on welfare. So why are you letting these youngsters tell this false story? I was on Facebook one day and I was telling the story. And one person was like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Hey, blah, 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 blah." They was really angry at me for telling the story that I'm telling you right now. But they turned around later and came back and they said, "Hey, man, I apologize. I grew up on welfare and I thought about it, and you're right. Now, I could be wrong. I very much doubt it. Because I was on welfare in Mississippi. We was on welfare in Illinois. And also I saw white people right across the bridge. We didn't have no tracks separating us. But in the white neighborhood, I saw the same thing going on over there. The same thing with the white folks. I'm not reading the book. I'm living it. I'm seeing this with my own eyes. The same thing. But see, this could be my personal experience. But since it's government, I'm pretty sure it's the same. It's the same crap all over the nation. Same type of thing all over the nation. And when I saw that movie today, Claudine, it reminded me, our experience wasn't as bad as Claudine, but I do remember my mother, those people coming to our house, checking for stuff. And I was so young, I didn't really know what these people was looking for, but now I know what was going on. I remember those inspections. So I appreciate your being here with us. And I know that folks who claim they like the truth, they really don't. They really don't like keeping it real. They don't really like the truth. It hurts. It makes us feel bad sometimes. But in the long run, truth is the best thing for us. I know I feel much, much better when I just keep it real, accept the reality of things. It hurts. But in the long run, it's best for us. You'll never get nowhere, and you'll truly never progress lying to yourself. I'm a god, I'm a warrior, all these different things. I'm going to say this and we're going to get out of here. I was on Facebook yesterday because today is a new day. Morning, everybody. Morning. I was on Facebook yesterday and this person got angry at me because he said he liked Dr. King, but he can't get with Dr. King being, that nonviolent protest stuff. So my response to him was, the opposite of nonviolent is violent. You can't see, this is the thing about it. You didn't do what Dr. King have done, nor have you done what you claim you would do. Because the opposite of nonviolent is violent, and your ass ain't done that. Now, Malcolm X got his whole card pulled. And it's not out of, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm telling the truth. Because we like Malcolm X here. I can roll with Malcolm, Brother Malcolm. But in 1962, Brother Malcolm X got his whole card pulled because Malcolm X said the same thing. You a coward to be nonviolent, letting those dogs bite you and fire hoses we don't turn the other cheek. If you mess with us, You know, you're going to get your ass, you're going to get a beat down. That's Malcolm said the same thing for years. Now, this is what Elijah Muhammad taught. Elijah Muhammad taught, if you can't put up, don't say it. So in 1962, as many of you know the history of the Nation of Islam, in 1962, the Los Angeles Police Department, I believe that's what it was, they attacked the temple there, and Muslims got beat up, and one of the brothers, what's his name, Ronald X. Stokes, who was the secretary, got killed. Okay, here you go now. You say that you're not into that nonviolent thing. If you attack me like that, I'm going to put a whooping on you. Okay, here's your chance, Malcolm. They didn't do nothing. So in 1962, basically Elijah Muhammad gave the order, stand down. And Malcolm had a press conference. It's on YouTube. Look how pitiful Malcolm looked. Listen to his voice, how he spoke, because Malcolm knew he was talking all that crap. Okay, we killed, not only did we kick your ass, we killed one of your boys. Now what you gonna do about it? You don't turn the other cheek. You're not nonviolent, sir. What you gonna do about it? He went to that press conference, had a press conference, and said how wise Elijah Muhammad was to keep us cool, calm, and collect. And Malcolm came up with the idea of suing the police department and all that type of thing. That sort of sound nonviolent to me, sir. And if you notice, they never are on the offensive, only on the defensive. If they ever do come into clashes with the police, it's always defensive. It's never offensive. But if they was coming after you and me, it'll be offensive. I could go out my house, they'd be sitting in front of my house with shotguns waiting on me to come out my house. They're not going to do that to the racist police department. They're not going to go to a Ku Klux Klan rally or to one of their buildings. They're not going to attack white folks or anybody that's their enemy, but they'll be in front of your house, in front of my house. They will be in front of the Urban League or another black person, so another black organization. They'll do that. Then they got the nerve to turn around and talk about Dr. King. Now, I'm not into that. They are more nonviolent than Dr. King was, because Dr. King and his people actually faced the enemy hand-to-hand combat, even though it was nonviolent. They didn't do nothing. Except call themselves defending themselves, and the police shot their ass up. Since you know the police coming after you, and a lot of you gonna die anyway, why don't you run? Why don't you go to the police station and shoot them up? Go to the Ku Klux Klan building, blow it up. They didn't do nothing. Then he's gonna tell me, you don't know me, you don't know what I'll do. Your whole card gonna be pulled one day. A lot of us do a lot of talking. We don't know what we gonna do until we get into the situation. What I do. You don't know what you gonna do until you get in that situation. It's easy to talk. If that was me, I'd do this. See, your whole card gonna get pulled one day. And see, Malcolm, that was a sign. Malcolm should have known what the deal was in 1962. Because Elijah Muhammad should have had his back. Now, it wouldn't be wise to go to war like that. It would not be wise. Of course, that would be stupid. But at the same time, if you can go out and kill black people, why you can't take revenge on them? So that was 1962. 3 years later, when they got into it with Malcolm himself, did Elijah Muhammad, did the Nation of Islam talk about it would be wise just to leave Malcolm alone? No. We're going to kill that red nigga. That's what they were saying. They did not run their mouth. They didn't have that kind of attitude with the people that murdered their brothers and sisters in California. What was the attitude in 1962? 1965, you harassing Malcolm and his children, his wife. Why didn't you threaten, why didn't you harass the Los Angeles Police Department? That's why I don't have no respect for none of this blackity black stuff, fake ass folks. Because I'd be damned if it was me. Oh, we got to get down. It might be 10 years later. I'm getting your ass. They shot Malcolm down like a dog. This man helped them become what they were. Stupid ass people. If I had somebody to put me on the map, I don't give a damn what they done. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you done. You have the right to be upset, whatever it is. Malcolm done what Master Farad Muhammad couldn't do. What Elijah Muhammad couldn't do. If it wasn't for Malcolm X, there would be no Muhammad Ali and all these other people. Malcolm was the one that attracted all these folks. Malcolm was the one that put you on the map. And you're going to do him dirty like that. You're going to murder your best helper. You're going to murder the best helper black people, period, have had in generations. You dumbass fool. And you want me to be part of this. I'm not going to be part of that. I don't have to like nobody. If somebody in the community has done super work for us or whatever, I wouldn't do that. And then when it's all said and done in 2024, you got people like Young Pharaoh and it's this other idiot. I forgot his name. But you got people like Young Pharaoh. They talk about the Nation of Islam. They don't have no respect for Elijah Muhammad. I mean nasty, profane. And you ain't did a damn thing against them either. Man, they ain't do nothing against them either. And you want me to be part of the black conscious community. Excuse me, I got to throw up. I throw up. Don't be part of no black conscious community. Black conscious community is an embarrassment. A bunch of scammers and whoremongers. That's all. I want to be part of that. Follow them where? Learn about Kemet, some damn rocks. How is learning about rocks going to help us? Them people not even related to you. And you have no respect for the ones that are related to you. I don't care how Dr. King's birthday, I don't care if it's the federal government, I don't care how it came into existence. All of black, everybody that's black in this country should respect that holiday. And any of our freedom fighters that try to do something for us. But we don't deserve it. A bunch of ingrates. And see, I was just like you at one time. So I understand how stupid you are, because I was stupid like that too. But I grew out of it. You're not growing out of it. I hear old ass people saying the same dumbass stuff. 50, 60 years old. I'm like, damn, you an idiot. I expect young people, because they follow the old heads, the dumbass folks. Young people don't want to listen to elders that actually have learned from the experiences in their life. They want to listen to elders that's stupid like them. There's a difference between sounding smart and being smart. Anybody can sound smart. That don't mean you are. Here you are, you have a bachelor's degree. You have a doctor's degree, but you believe a spaceship gonna come and save you. What kind of intelligence is that? You got a doctor's degree, you're a PhD, but you believe a spaceship gonna come and save you, and you believe a big head man 76 trillion years ago made white people. Wow, are you serious? Look, I keep saying, I need to bring this to an end. Look, I want to say another thing real quick. Look, it says in the Bible, it says in the Quran, it talks about how God made us out of dirt or dust and blew into us the breath of life. The Quran says, talks about how Allah made us from black, he put emphasis on black mud. Okay. Okay, so if we're made out of mud, if you go in your backyard, dig up some mud, put it on a microscope, I wonder if there's any human DNA in the mud. You're not going to find, if we made out of mud, where did the blood come from? How are the organs made? How do you get a skeleton and teeth? That don't even make any sense. And somebody breathed the breath of life into the mud. Let's do it. Do an experiment. Okay, they said we are gods, okay? They said that we're gods, but we're not the God. Okay, we're not the God, we're a God. And the God took some clay, took some mud, blew air into it, and made it a human being or whatever. Okay, we're not on that level. But we should be able to go out in the backyard and grab a little lump of mud and blow some air into it, because we're gods too, they say. And we should be able to blow a little air into it and make some kind of life form or something. That don't make any sense. We are not dirt. We are not mud. We are made of the materials that come from the earth, but we're not mud. We're not dirt. That's dumb. Just like the Nation of Islam teaches talk about the pig is a grafted animal made out of a rat, cat, and dog. I've yet to hear about nobody able to replicate that. Nobody in the Nation of Islam done it. I want to see somebody mix a cat, rat, and dog, and then they get a pig. I want to see that done. The pig is in the hippopotamus family. The pig, if given a choice, would prefer to eat roots and other things. They do a lot of rooting or whatever. They can't eat carrion. But that's not what they're about. They don't have sweat glands, so they have to dust their body to cool off or lay in mud or water or something to cool. They don't have sweat glands. And the reason why pork in the past had a lot of trichine worms in it, because a lot of pigs were slopped like we used to do in the South. And insects lay their eggs in the slop. And the pigs eat the slop. Of course, those parasites get into the animal. But pork nowadays is grain fed. They don't feed them slop. These religious teachings is out of date. These religious teachings, a lot of it is based upon superstition. We are supposed to be now. Matter of fact, we're supposed to be in the age of science now. It's a show I just watch for entertainment. I watch it for entertainment. I believe. Well, I like the sister Nicole. What's her name? Nicole Behari. She was on a show called Sleepy Hollow. And what's his name? Ichabod Crane. He made the statement. They were celebrating his birthday, and she wanted him to blow out the candle. He like, blow the candle for what? He said, make a wish. He said, make a wish. He said, he told her, I thought by this time, you guys would be, stop being superstitious. That, blowing, what is that supposed to do? He thought that you be science, relying on science now. You wouldn't be doing superstitious stuff no more. Now, what's ironic that Ichabod Crane made that statement, because his ass is 251 years old. He came back from the dead fighting ghosts and goblins. What's scientific about that, sir? I was thinking about that when the character said that. We thought that you being something, but Ichabod, you here, you came back from the dead to fight ghosts and goblins that they can actually kill with a bullet. They fighting ghosts and goblins with arrows and bullets. Oh wow! I watched Sleepy Hollow because I like Nicole. What's her name? Nicole Behari, and I like the special effects. Dumbass show, See, that kind of stuff. It feeds the minds of religion and spiritual people, because they think that kind of stuff is real, and they actually will. To me, it's nothing but entertainment. It's fantasy, mythology, fantasy, and a good-looking sister. They looking at it like, that could be real. Oh, man. Woo. I'm wrong, right? I can't. Man. Maybe I'm drunk because really I'm sleepy. I'm like a baby. You know how a baby is? A baby get cranky and upset because they really need to go to sleep. Maybe that's my problem. I'm cranky and I need to go to sleep. Yeah, and don't wake up. These folks so low down. These the peace lovers. These the ones that want love and peace. Wow. Okay. I'm way off topic. On that note, I guess we'll go ahead and get out of here. We almost at the 3-minute mark. So I do like, wow, folks is up listening to me talk just like it was the daytime. Probably get the same amount of people during the day. Here you are at night. Well, we're in the physical darkness, but we know mentally we're 1,000% in the light. So on that note, I want to thank Brother Don and the deacons and those out in the clouds, all our people out there in YouTube land. I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. I was getting ready to say this afternoon, this morning. You know I'm tapped about this afternoon. This morning. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get a little something off my chest. Thank you for listening. And as our ancestor Don Cornelius used to always say as in parting, I wish us love, peace, and so. And we are Audi 5000.